Right, it's exactly 5 days remaining before we conclude Chapter 9 of 12 and welcome Chapter 10. A warm and hearty welcome to the Monday edition of Primetime News. Thanks for joining us. Always an absolute pleasure being in your company. I'm Michael Madimba. We commence tonight's bulletin at the Ministry of Home Affairs, Immigration, Safety and Security with Portfolio Minister Dr. Albert Kawana revealing the ministry is drafting a bill aimed at preventing statelessness and regularizing the status of specified categories of stateless and undocumented persons. Now, speaking during the belated commemoration of International Identity Day in the capital recently, Kawana noted he would table the bill in Parliament. Andreas Thomas filed our lead story.
It is my sincere hope that these important instruments will be enacted for the betterment of the lives of those affected, he said. There are about 141,080 undocumented and stateless people in Namibia. This number represents the total number of people who consider themselves to be stateless or undocumented and who came forward during a registration exercise conducted by the Home Affairs Ministry in conjunction with local and regional government structures, according to Kawana. Equally, we recognize that we have an obligation to reduce statelessness in our country by ensuring that those affected exercise their right to identity, travel documents, and administrative assistance. For this reason, the Namibian government is taking steps to reduce statelessness by regularizing the status of stateless and undocumented persons through enabling legislations, the minister said. Reporting for Primetime News, Ishmael Mukuvonda.
Staying with the Home Affairs, Immigration, Safety and Security portfolio, Minister Dr. Albert Kawana has urged tourism businesses to take precautions to ensure the safety of tourists when they are visiting the establishments. Speaking during the launch of an online tourist visa application service by the Home Affairs Ministry in Windhoek on Friday, Kawana lamented over tourism establishments, mostly lodges and campsites, that have inadequate security on site. More insights from this report.
The Minister of Home Affairs, Immigration, Safety and Security, Albert Kawana, said efforts are underway to procure more police vehicles while expressing the need to capacitate the police tourist unit. The new online application, Kawana added, will enable those wishing to travel to Namibia to apply for tourist and holiday visas from the comfort of their homes. The minister noted that the new development is in line with the government policy on e-governance, adding that the ministry has automated most of its systems and will gradually move towards the digitalization of most of its services.
Moving on. Minister of Environment, Forestry and Tourism, Pohamba Shifeta, says the government is exploring avenues on how Namibia can benefit from the large volume of ivory and rhino horn stockpiles despite the global trade ban on these products. Speaking during the commemoration of World Rhino Day at Okaukweo in the Etosha National Park recently, Shifeta said the constitution stipulates the need for beneficiation from the country's natural resources, including rhino and elephant products, which Namibia has in abundant stockpiles. And let's have a listen.
Namibia is signatory to the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wildlife, Fauna and Flora, which prohibits the sale of ivory and rhino horns. Shifeta stressed that managing the stockpile and owning of rhino for both government and private owners is very cumbersome and costly. Without giving the current rhino population statistics, Shifeta noted that all black rhinos remain state-owned and those occurring on private land as well as some communal conservancies have been placed there under the black rhino custodianship program, while white rhino occur both in private and public ownership. Reporting for Primetime News, Ishmael Mukuvonda.
Switching to agricultural matters. The Minister of Agriculture, Water and Land Reform yesterday convened a 3-day meeting of veterinary authorities of Namibia, Angola, Botswana, Zambia and Zimbabwe to discuss the animal health situation in the respective countries. The ministry's chief veterinary officer, Albertina Chilongo, in a media statement, noted the meeting will mainly discuss transboundary animal diseases such as contagious bovine pleural pneumonia, foot and mouth disease, rabies, and peste de petit ruminant. More insights from this report.
We'll be meeting for the next 3 days to discuss animal health situations in our countries with special emphasis on transboundary animal diseases such as foot and mouth disease, contagious bovine pneumonia, peste de petit ruminant, rabies, and also highly pathogenic avian influenza, which is becoming a very big concern in our sub-region because of the increase in the number of outbreaks in our neighboring country, South Africa. And most of our countries depends on import of poultry and poultry products from South Africa. The purpose of this very important meeting of Veterinary Authority is to develop a harmonized strategy and implementation plan for the control and eradication of contagious bovine pneumonia, which I believe we can achieve through coordinated effort. It is also to strengthen collaboration in the fight against that's along the common border.
Stay tuned for the business segment. Infrastructure development leads to tonight's Primetime's Beach segment. Rhodes Authority Chief Executive Officer Conrad Lutombi says the road between Gobabis and Erminus will be completed in a matter of months this year. In a media briefing at the Omaheke Governor's Office recently, Lutombi said the Gobabis, Erminus and Aranus Road construction are well on course and the Roads Authority projects to open access to the first road in Erminus by December 2023. He further indicated the Gobabis-Aranus Road's estimated completion date of December 2024 is on track and progressing well. On to business updates from the African Arab world. Egypt will hold a presidential vote on December the 10th to the 12th. Election officials revealed earlier today at a time the Arab world's most populous country is mired in a painful economic crisis. Now, President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, a former army chief and power for nearly a decade, has yet to formally announce his candidacy, but state-aligned media has already published messages of support from pro-government entities. The 60-year-old al-Sisi was first elected in 2014, the year after he led the oust of elected Islamist President Mohamed Morsi and then won a 2018 vote and a landslide against one of his own supporters. For tomorrow's countrywide weather synopsis, let's now turn attention to the weather report. Welcome to Sport Planet, where all things sport in action dominate the segment. Deputy Minister of Sports, Youth and National Service, Emma Kantema Gaumas, underscored the significance of sport in promoting mental health, especially in a world where this has become critical. Officiating at the opening ceremony of the United Nations All Africa Games 2023 in Swakopmund on Friday, Kantema Gaumas noted sport offers a powerful antidote and helps one release endorphins, reduces stress and anxiety whilst promoting a sense of well-being. The Deputy Minister also highlighted the pivotal role the Games play in fostering relationships among the United Nations offices and agencies across various country offices. On to the English Premier League. Mauricio Pochettino has pleaded for more time as he scrambles for solutions to Chelsea's mounting crisis. But how patient will the owners be? The Blues, European champions only 2 years ago, are lowly 14th on the Premier League table, just 4 points above the relegation zone after one win in their first 6 games. Their latest setback was a 1-0 defeat against Aston Villa on Sunday, with Ollie Watkins scoring the winner after the dismissal of Chelsea defender Malo Gusto. Pochettino pleaded, "Give me time" after Sunday's match, urging the club's American owners to back him. He further added, "They, the owners, are disappointed. They arrived at the club and are so excited to build a project. Of course they feel disappointed, but at the same time they need to support the plan." Chelsea have mastered just 5 goals in their first 6 league matches, and 3 of those came in the 3-0 win against newly promoted Luton. Stand by for your sports roundup. This is where we dock for the Monday Primetime News edition. Many thanks for tuning in. Do catch us for the Tuesday edition tomorrow. Another reminder to subscribe to this channel to be part of the broader Nampa TV audience by following the on-screen prompts. Also like, share and proliferate our content. This will enable us improve and reach a wider audience. Otherwise, from myself, Michael Madimba, and our dedicated production crew behind the scenes, as a blessed Monday night to you. Good night.